ഇന്ത്യ വൃത്തിയാക്കാൻ അമിതാഭ് ബച്ചനും. ഡെറ്റോളിന്റെ നേതൃത്വത്തിൽ നടക്കുന്ന ബനേഗ സ്വച്ച് ഇന്ത്യ ക്യാമ്പയിൻ സീസൺ 4-ൽ അമിതാഭ് ബച്ചനും പങ്കാളിയാകുന്നു. ദിവസേന ടൺ കണക്കിന് മാലിന്യമാണ് ഇന്ത്യയിൽ നിന്നും പുറന്തള്ളപ്പെടുന്നത്. ഇത് പിന്നീട് വൻ പരിസ്ഥിതി പ്രശ്നങ്ങൾക്ക് കാരണമാവുമെന്നും അതിനാൽ ഈ വേസ്റ്റുകൾ റീസൈക്കിൾ ചെയ്യണമെന്നും ഉദ്ദേശിച്ച് നടക്കുന്ന ഒരു മൂവ്മെന്റാണത്. വീഡിയോസ് കാണാം.
थोड़ा मुझे क्या मिलेगा रे? थोड़ा चले ले हो गया चला मार स्वप्नील
नमस्कार, आप सभी का बहुत बहुत स्वागत है। प्यारे दोस्तों, हर बार की तरह एक बार फिर नमस्कार, आप सभी का स्वागत है। प्यारे दोस्तों, हर बार की तरह एक बार फिर मैं अपने देश के लिए, अपने लोगों के लिए, उनके स्वास्थ्य के लिए आपके सामने आया हूँ। हमारा यहाँ आने का मकसद जो है साफ और सफाई से जुड़ा है। हम NDTV डेटॉल बनेगा स्वच्छ इंडिया मुहिम के चौथे सीजन की शुरुआत करने जा रहे हैं। पिछले साल आप सभी ने मेरे साथ मेरे 10 गज की सफाई का प्रण लिया था। इस साल हम उस 10 गज के दायरे को 3 कदम और आगे बढ़ाएंगे। आपके आसपास किसी भी तरह से कचरा, चाहे वो जैविक कचरा हो या सूखा कचरा हो, सभी कचरे की एक अहमियत होती है, बशर्ते उसे सही तरीके से छांटा जाए। कचरा पैदा होने वाली जगह पर ही और उसकी छटाई करके छांट दिया जाए, तो इससे उसे रिसाइकल करने में आसानी है और साथ ही लैंडफिल पर पड़ने वाले कचरे का बोझ भी कम होगा। इसलिए स्वच्छ भारत की ओर से 3 कदम बेहद जरूरी आ जाते हैं। सबसे पहले अपने 10 गज की सफाई करें, कचरे को छांट करके उसे कंपोस्ट करें। इस तरह से आप देश पर पड़ रहे कचरे का बोझ जो है उसे कम कर सकते हैं। आज साधारण से सोसाइटी है, ये कई मायनों में बेहद खास है, देखने में साधारण यहाँ के लोगों ने इन कदमों को अपनाकर स्वच्छ भारत को करने की शुरुआत की। मैं बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देता हूँ और अब मैं
Bachan ji, thank you so much as always, sir, for being with us. I'd also like to invite our partner in the RT and Manisha, who's the Principal Secretary of the Development of Swatch India. It's always a pleasure to have you with us. And we look towards season 4 of the initiative of trying to clean up India. So it's all science studies have shown that the Swatch Bharat Abhiyan is perhaps the most successful, one of the most successful campaigns in the government of India. And it's got a lot of popular support. Now, we have over the last 2 years, if you look at farmers community, they got more than 1 crore of hours of people. And then you spoke about this, Mere 10 Gaj, cleaning up the area. Today we're talking about waste management, which perhaps is one of the most important areas.
I don't just see
rubbish that basically is generated in that area is probably taken care in Mumbai. So within a comfortable society. There are 2,000 people out here, and they collect 4,500 kilograms of waste every single day. Now, that would be actually that would be enough.
उनका सोसाइटी का
रिसाइकलिंग करके पैसा आ सकता है और वो बायोडिग्रेडेबल उससे कंपोस्ट
तो जरा पहले फोटो कर लेते हैं सर, वाइल्ड लाइफ पिक्चर हो जाएगा।
अगर किसी ने बिल्कुल ठीक से सेग्रीगेशन नहीं किया है तो यहाँ हटा लेते हैं।
we are also tying up with the agriculture department because farmers are always in need of compost. Their only condition is that it shouldn't come from mixed waste. मतलब उसमें plastic ना हो, glass ना हो. So अगर आप pure wet waste का compost बनाते हैं, it has a huge
अगर मशीन का होगा तो उसको इलेक्ट्रिसिटी लगती है तो हम लोग वो भी चाहते हैं कि वो भी थोड़ा हम लोग पावर
more green.
यूज कंसेव
There are
करें.
wonderful machines actually.
So this compost can be used by farmers. So you don't need urea and other fertilizers.
It's
It's
really
also
alternative.
Compost is very good for
टेस्ट बनाया है हाथ से.
this is a final product.
And this ever-growing demand for organic vegetables can actually be met ultimately by this compost.
no, it's not just good as a fertilizer. It actually strengthens the soil as it goes in. So during the rains and the monsoons and all, yes, the wearing away of the earth with the effect. उसके बाद इसको अंदर डाल दो. Even the garbage buckets, they're not using plastic. They use paper.
So after this, once this is done, then what happens to it? Just take it out. Move. You'll have to move from in front, both of you.
Sorry? Yeah, I know. I just feel that maybe this campaign and that one is...
Is the OTQ going to work? In that case, will you go to the right place?
Come together.
Oh, that's the wrong place. Go up to the top. Amit ji, you were saying just a short while back how you're starting to see the impact of the Swatch Abhiyan in many places that you're seeing. Anecdotally, you can see the impact happening.
I don't know whether it's being observed by others or not, but I just felt that every time I'm traveling to either within Mumbai or parts of Mumbai which are traditionally known to be very filthy and dirty, suddenly looking a lot cleaner. And many of the cities that I visit, and you must be visiting them a lot more than I do, I just find that there is a general cleanliness about the place. People are more conscious, the streets, the roads are looking a lot cleaner, and I hope this continues.
No, absolutely. Because there's still a long way to go.
Oh,
Maharashtra, I think, is a little ahead of some of the other states and the cities. So, let's hope it rolls out. Now, we are here at the Vijayanagar Society in Andheri East in Mumbai. We've just visited a few homes to see how they are following the two bin, one bag policy. We have a large crowd right here, residents of the society, and you need the applause. Quite frankly, Amit, I think you'll agree that आप लोगों ने जो यहाँ करके दिखाया है पूरे देश के लिए एक मिसाल है. I think Amit ji, you would agree with that.
बिल्कुल, ये एक बहुत बड़ा उदाहरण है आप लोगों ने यहाँ कायम किया है. और मैं चाहूँगा कि आज के इस कार्यक्रम के बाद जितने लोग इस कार्यक्रम को देखेंगे वो पहचानेंगे कि आप लोगों ने एक सोसाइटी की तरफ से कितना नेक काम किया है, न केवल इस अभियान के लिए, देश के लिए, अपने सोसाइटी के लिए. और मैं ऐसा मानता हूं कि अगर ये उदाहरण जो है जगह जगह फैलाया जाएगा तो मैं चाहूँगा कि और भी सोसाइटी जो है वो आपके उदाहरण को देख करके उसी तरह काम करें जिस तरह से आप काम कर रहे हैं. बहुत बधाई आप सब लोगों को एक बार.
All right, now we have a panel of experts who are now going to be joining us to help us understand what we can do with waste management. Now, if you actually look at it, and if you take a look at the ways you can deal with the growing mountain of filth, the best way to do it is to separate. So you can recycle, you can reuse, and you can compost. Now, according to the Central Pollution Control Board, out of the 70% total solid waste collected in the country, only 12% is actually treated. The rest just goes into landfills. Today on our panel, we have some of the biggest experts in this area. Swati Sambyal from the Center for Science and Environment, who's co-authored a book, Not in My Backyard. Thank you so much for being with us. We have Manisha Maiskar, who's, if we can just see that. Manisha Maiskar is Principal Secretary, Urban Development at Maharashtra. Pinaki Mishra from Ernst & Young. Paul Seong from USAID. Great to have you with us as well. Also, Chitra Hiramat from Garbage Free India is with us as well, who's done a lot of work in this area. Before I come to all of you, let me just get your take, Nitish, on the problem of waste management. Why is it that this is something which you think should be one of the focus areas? Because we've been talking a lot about toilets and about that and open defecation as one of the main streams of Banega Swatch India.
Yeah.
Waste management, though, also important.
I think this is where it starts, right? I mean, basically, you will never have a Swachh Bharat unless everyone is making sure that whatever it is that they are responsible in terms of managing their waste are not fully engaged. And I think that basically, over a period of time, there is only so much in terms of generating awareness. When the rubber hits the road, it's the people that have to take the responsibility to say that I'm making sure that whatever it is that I can influence, I'm doing in a manner that there is no waste. And I think today what we've seen is a fantastic illustration of people really taking that responsibility on a large scale with very little investment we saw, but making a massive impact.
Right. Swati, if I can get you in on that point. So you've written this book, and I'm sure Amit ji also has questions for you. You've written this book, Not in My Backyard, Solid Waste Management in Indian Cities. How big is the problem and how can it be, I'm sure it can be solved if we all set our minds to it.
Well, of course, in our studies, the problem is really enormous. As you said, of the 62 metric tons per year that is generated in our country, 70% is collected and only 10% is treated. So, of course, the momentum has picked up, but then there's really a long way to go in it. But I'm glad that people have started taking initiatives, cooperators have started taking initiatives. There are success stories from nooks and corners of the country. So, of course, that is really picked up. But, of course, it's a huge issue, and we all have to join hands in it. It's not one person's job to solve it.
Right.
I just like the title of your book, and
Yes.
I want to ask you why you chose that kind of language.
This comes
Because
from...
I'm sure it goes a long way in
Yes.
in covering the
Yes.
main
think-
idea of the campaign.
I think the entire issue with waste management is about not in my backyard. If I throw something at your doorstep, you'll be like, not in my backyard. And probably that has led to a gargantuan problem. We all don't want waste in my backyards, but we forget to, realize the fact that our backyard is someone's front yard. So that's why not in my backyard anymore.
And I think, Vikram, this is one of the most important, well, philosophical or psychological kind of training that we all need to understand.
Yes.
I can clean up my place and throw it in somebody else's front yard or backyard and not bother about it. But how wonderful if you could not only just look after the place that is in front of us, but also in front of somebody else and set an example, even if they're not following it. And therefore this whole, thinking that, oh, मेरी जगह साफ रहे, दूसरे के गंदा रहे, मुझे उसकी कोई परवाह नहीं है. I think that we have to get out of that kind of thinking. And if we can also volunteer to just go across and clean up somebody else's mess, it would set a very good example. And I'm sure that in time to come, that person would also learn that, somebody else is doing my work. I need to get down and start doing it myself.
Exactly.
Right. Manisha ji, ये जो अमित जी कह रहे थे कि अपना ही साफ करना, that's only part of the problem. You got to make sure that you spread the thing elsewhere. The issue of solid waste piling up, to what extent is that, to your mind, one of the serious issues? Because one thing which is linked with that also is plastic. Plastic and plastic waste is one of the biggest environmental hazards that we see. And it leads to so many other impacts as well.
I think when Modi ji dreamt of a Swachh Bharat on the Red Fort, he was probably voicing the aspiration of every single Indian. And therefore, we see a lot of people's commitment to Swachh Bharat. I think Vijayanagar is a very outstanding example. So far as Maharashtra is concerned, we are completely committed to it. And what, sir, you said, we are now requesting societies such as Vijayanagar to be ambassadors and pioneers and take the message elsewhere. Okay. The 250 odd towns that we have in Maharashtra, we propose to start this campaign across all towns from 1st of May, which also happens to be Maharashtra Divas for us.
As we were discussing just to add, we were discussing a little while earlier that if they're going to be ambassadors and going to be examples, maybe they need some kind of an incentive as well.
Absolutely, sir. Yeah. Both their points of a concession in property tax an arrangement by which pits are made, I will straight away go back and convey it to my Chief Minister, and I'm sure a decision would have been taken in the next 4 weeks.
Hopefully Fadnavis Saab is watching this program. So Fadnavis Saab, ये सुझाव है इनके तरफ से, आप सोच लीजिए, इस पे विचार कर लीजिए और शायद फैसला आप जल्दी सुना पाएंगे इन मामलों पर. I just wanted to ask you also about the problem of garbage. आपको क्या लगता है कि ये जो problem कितनी बड़ी समस्या है और क्या किया जा सकता है?
Should I answer in Hindi?
Hindi, English, जो भी.
So what we found, जब हमने 2013 में ये शुरू किया, it actually started in Calcutta because it was just started by some citizens who just felt very strongly about what was happening in terms of the garbage that was piling up every nook and corner. Actually, we feel that the problem has been twofold, and what we've understood is one is at the micro level, which is there's a lack of involvement of individuals, and there's a lack of knowledge from those people who do want to do something but are not sure as to how they can really responsibly dispose of their waste. On the other hand, at the macro level, we have landfills which are unable to take the load. We have a lot of garbage being generated. Almost 9,000 tons is just generated in Bombay city itself. And it's a very unscientific method of disposing of. So we really are looking at empowering individuals, societies, and when we visited Vijayanagar 2 years ago, we have used them as a model to inspire a lot of other communities. And our initiative is basically to empower every Indian to become waste empowered and to look at this as his own personal responsibility rather than look at the government or the municipal corporation or XYZ individual who can really address this issue. So that is what Garbage Free India's mission is, and we hope to see India a waste empowered nation in the coming years. And to release the wealth which is there, which is 70% of our waste which is going is wet waste, which is completely biodegradable.
All right, I'm going to take a break right now, but lots of schools also taking part, and there's lots of people outside. When we return after the break, I think we can go across, and there are lots of young children and young kids who are really been, I think, the heart and the soul of any of the campaigns.
Absolutely, yeah.
So they're waiting to talk to us, so we'll do that when we come back just after this break. schools, when they start taking the initiative, schools, young people, that's when change really happens. And we've seen this in so many of the campaigns that we've been doing.
Absolutely. I do think that the whole initiative that is coming from schools, from the younger generation, is very important for any such campaign. Children are the soul of every family, and what they do, what they practice is a great inspiration for the elders. And when they meet in their classrooms, they talk to each other, they convey what they did, they do their homework, they play games, but they also talk about what they did regarding Swatch Bharat, and it kind of infiltrates into the rest of the society. Right. And people like to obey what the kid says, particularly elders and parents. They want to either encourage them or they want to follow what they want to do. And that, I think, is a wonderful initiative. So we've had many, today in the program, we have many schools that we've gone to.
Absolutely. So in fact, the Center for Science and Environment has a Green Schools program that rates the green performance of schools from across India. Students audit the consumption of resources within their school premises and find ways to reduce the wastage of precious resources. More than 1,000 schools have participated in this program over the last 2 years, and based on green report cards have found ways of being more resource efficient. Essentially, a green school, sir, is a school which uses less resources, harvests its water, values drops, turns waste into resources, is energy and transport efficient. So let's start by going across to one of the top 20 ranked green schools in India, the Shriram School at Aravali in Gurgaon, which has, of course, the Shriram schools have been pledging 5,000 work hours, you will remember, during the Swatch Bharat Abhiyan, and doing a lot of other work. Pooja Talwar is there. Pooja, what is it that the students there are wanting to do towards waste management, and how do they retain their position as a green school?
Good morning, Vikram. Good morning, Mr. Bachan. Well, the students and especially the Environment Club is very, very enterprising. Behind me is an experiment underway where they're planning to construct a bench out of bottles. And then I also have the senior members of the Environment Club here with me. Madhav, the school has started a Tetra Pak initiative. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Right. So around 2 years ago, we started something called the Tetra Pak initiative, which is basically where students recycle Tetra Paks. But this year, to further engage and encourage the students, what we're trying to do is take an indirect approach towards the environment. What I've learned is a lot of students, turn off when they hear the words like global warming or environment. They don't find it very interesting. So we're going to try taking an indirect approach, which is basically we're going to have a table, which is going to have a wash basin, scissors, and 2 separate dustbins where students will actually vote with their Tetra Paks. So basically we'll have something like a dustbin with Messi and a dustbin with Ronaldo. So students can engage in an indirect approach to the environment. And I feel like most of the environment problems that we do face is because of the mentality us Indians have. And what we're trying to do over here is to make some like a thought-provoking, engaging activity so the students can actually change their mentality and, build our life towards a more healthier and sustainable environment.
So how far have you been successful?
So we just started off where we're on the way to basically building the 2 bins and having Messi, Ronaldo, and we're trying to make it look very aesthetically appealing. So right now we're just with the beginning process of that, and this year we hope to have a lot of progress on that.
Right. Pooja, I think
we have a composting unit there, and Ojasvi is going to tell us a bit about that initiative in the school.
Okay, so food wastage is a huge problem in India especially, where a large population does not get the 2 meals per day, and those who are privileged enough to get it, they waste it. We have a lunch hall in our school, and approximately 100 kgs of food is wasted per day. We have a composting pit, however, here.
Yeah, let's go there and take a look.
So we have horticultural waste, which is leaves, dried up leaves, and food scraps. So the primary food scraps, which is vegetable peels, and the basic primary foods that are required to make the further product. We take them, and these are the composting pits. We put them here along with calcium oxide. We allow them to stay here for 25 days, and after those 25 days, we put them out in the sun for 5 days to form khad. So an approximate 200 to 300 kgs of khad is produced per month. And I think that's a huge thing for the school.
Very, very enterprising Environment Club doing their bit for the society.
Yeah, Pooja, I just want to, first of all, compliment these children for the way they speak about environment and how knowledgeable they are about what environment means and what the atmosphere means, and how wonderful to hear them speak such professional language. I mean, to form a club which is called an environmental club is very unique. When I was in school, we used to have the cricket club or a dramatic club, but we never had these kind of thinking to have an environmental club and really want to compliment them. What I would like to know is what initiated them to think like this? Who was it that actually taught them to do this? And did they go through some kind of training or what?
Yeah, about the school initiative. Asked you a question about the school initiative.
Okay.
Projects.
So a couple of school initiatives we're going to start off with this year. So one of them is called the basketball bin project, where in a lot of classes students crumple paper and chuck it in the bin like they're playing basketball. So what we actually want to encourage, this is again an indirect approach towards the environment. So we've actually created a prototype of the basketball ring, which is going to be hung over classrooms. So we're going to start with 6th grade to see if it actually works and how the students react to it. And what we're trying to do is only make a separate paper bin so the students are engaged in an indirect approach, which actually makes the environment a fun subject for them. So that's one of our activities. Then the other thing, like Jasvi just talked about, food wastage. We're trying to reduce food wastage, so we've put up a lot of posters in the lunch hall, we try to engage the students through their emotional sense and get them to understand the problems that we're actually facing in society when it comes to the food wastage. So what we're going to try to do is, have in our assemblies, we're going to talk to the students on a regular basis about how we can take a part and reduce the food wastage that does happen here in India and help contribute to the people who need the food.
Right, Pooja, thank you so much.
Over to you, Vikram and Mr. Bachan.
Right, Pooja, thank you so much for joining us. Amitji.
Yeah, thank you so much, and really wonderful thinking on the part of these students. I mean, just to associate sports with something like environment is so unique because, yes, all of us, are so interested in sports, but to combine that with the process of wanting to change the environment is a wonderful thought. We all do it all the time, we, as he rightly said, we want to throw the garbage as though we're putting the ball into a basketball net. And how wonderful to be able to join that with this campaign and, make it work and make it more friendly in a sense to be able to operate this whole operation in a very informal manner. But actually you're doing a lot of great work.
अमित जी, पर यही संदेश शायद आप बाकी पाठशालों में भी कहना चाहेंगे, क्योंकि हर एक पाठशाला पूरे देश में किसी न किसी तरह पर्यावरण के बारे में सोच सकते हैं.
सबको सोचना चाहिए और जैसा कि मैं अभी कहता रहा हूँ, यहाँ की जो हाउसिंग सोसाइटी, विजयनगर हाउसिंग सोसाइटी एक बहुत अच्छा एक उदाहरण बन गया है. इसी तरह अगर हम किसी एक स्कूल को लेकर के उसे उदाहरण बनाते हैं और दूसरों को उनको प्रेरणा देने के लिए, उनको इंस्पायर करने के लिए उनकी बातों को बाकी स्कूलों में भी पहुँचाएं, तो मुझे उम्मीद है कि बाकी स्कूल जो हैं वो भी इनको सुनेंगे. दे विल गेट इंस्पायर्ड बाय इट एंड वांट टू कॉपी देम. I would also wonder if we can have some kind of a competition between housing societies. You compete with another housing society. Our society is cleaner than yours, and you have an award for it. So everybody gets more involved and interested in winning that competition. So you make it look like a sports initiative, but actually they're working for the environment.
Sir, we actually have a competition going on for our urban local bodies, the councils and the corporations, but this is a great idea.
Yeah.
We will also have this on board, and we will have like I said, I'm going to go back to my chief minister with all these ideas, but I feel confident that very soon we will have a competition wherein the awards are given by the state government for the best zero waste society.
Yeah. And we've just started a competition for schools also where they can work on some
Absolutely,
of these areas.
yeah.
So that's always a great idea. Paul, if I can just get you in on your thoughts on what can be done, solid waste management in particular, and then I'm going to come to some other schools and societies in other parts of the country. We are right beneath the flight path, but okay, why don't you carry on?
Yeah, sure, I'm happy to give my input. I think a lot has been said already. I feel like the end...
They've actually integrated business with, waste segregation and other things, and really done a lot of work where they have recycled. They are now almost garbage-free, food wastage-free city. That's fantastic.
Right. Can we just go across there to the Mahindra World City in Chennai? And it's not, we'll just go across to that in a couple of minutes as soon as that's ready. While we wait for that to happen, talking about competitions, you and Ernst & Young and others have been working together with, I'll be on a hygiene index, which essentially also creates a certain amount of competition between cities to see which of them is the most hygienic and the clean. How is that working out, and what are the lessons you're finding and what cities can do to compete with each other?
Yeah, before you say that, just wait for the aircraft. I did have a look at the statistics that were prepared, and I found that, New Delhi and Pune are right ahead.
Right.
And I felt somewhat sad that Mumbai was nowhere there in the thing. I think this is the kind of thing that inspires people to work harder in each city. So if you are going to be preparing these statistics, Vikram, I think that they should be let out into the public and say, Delhi is doing better than Mumbai. What are you doing to get up there?
Don't just compete in the IPL, don't just compete in the Kabaddi League, start competing in hygiene.
Yes. Exactly. So I think, this is a great initiative, which is a public-private initiative with RB, USAID, EY and NDTV. And when we started the initiative, we realized two things. One is that if we don't measure, we really don't know where we stand. So first example is everybody wants to be swatch, everybody wants to do a good thing. Intentions are good, we have funding, but we really don't know what to do and where we stand. So the first, what HI did is it looked at all the factors necessary to go up to a certain ranking.
കൂടുതൽ ബോളിവുഡ് ന്യൂസുകൾക്കും വീഡിയോകൾക്കും വേണ്ടി ഈ ചാനൽ സബ്സ്ക്രൈബ് ചെയ്യുക. മലയാളം ബോളിവുഡ് ന്യൂസ്.